If you are working extremely hard on your coaching business, and no matter how many hours you put in, no matter how many sacrifices you make for your business, you don't still feel like you are getting the type of growth that you want to have in your business, this video is going to help you tremendously. If you are putting in all these hours every single day and you can't seem to break past your revenue plateau, then you want to pay attention to what I'm going to share with you in this video, because what I'm going to share with you is going to help you start to see some growth in your business, because there are people who work way less than you do, who spend less hours on their coaching business and make much more revenue per month than you might be doing right now. So the secret is not to work more or to do more work. There's certain things that you need to do in your coaching business that will allow you to see more growth. So if you're working hard and you can't seem to break past that revenue plateau, people keep telling you to try this, try that, and you're looking at yourself like, I don't have any more time to do all these things, then you want to really pay attention to this video. So if you are not familiar with me, my name is Okpe, and I run a marketing company that works with coaches to help them sign their dream clients and to help them scale using virtual events. We've made multiple 7 figures for the clients we've worked with, and we are looking to make 8 figures plus this year, and you get to be part of that journey by watching this video. But with that said, let's get into the video. So if you are working really hard on your business and you are not getting the type of results that you want, or you feel like you've been getting the same type of results for a very long time, or you've been getting results and now the results are starting to go down, you need to understand the concept of leverage. And the biggest thing you want to pay attention to when it comes to leverage, if I'm being honest, is the concept of asymmetry. So I know I've probably said this a few times in previous videos, but it's good to constantly repeat these things because this is very important. So asymmetry is when you're able to put something small in to get an outsized return on what you put in. So if you put in 2x and you get 20x, that is an example of asymmetry. And people who are potentially working less than you are right now and making more revenue per month than you do, like your competitors who are potentially working less than you are right now and making more revenue per month than you, they understand this concept of asymmetry. And everything they do in their business is always seen from the point of putting in like a very small effort to get a big outsized return in exchange for that effort. An example of something that is asymmetry is having a high ticket offer, for example. If you have an offer that is $10,000, $5,000, $15,000, that is a very asymmetrical thing, because it will take you the same amount of time and energy to get one client for 15K that it would take you the time and energy to get one client for 1.5K. And if you sign a client for 15K, you make more money up front. That's an example of asymmetry. Spending money on ads is an example of asymmetry as well, because it's very predictable, it's very consistent. If you put in $1, you can expect to get back $10, $5, $15 sometimes, depending on the type of system that you're using. So that's an example of something that is also very asymmetry. You can reach your audience at scale very quickly. Making YouTube videos is another example of asymmetry. You can make one video and it's evergreen on your channel, and that can continue to help you grow many years down the line, because it takes very little effort to make the videos and you can see outsized return from doing this. So there are so many examples of asymmetric things, and that might start to feel like, okay, so which of these asymmetric things should you pick? So in this video, I'm going to share with you the ones that I've used for our clients that I've seen get them the best results and get them the most outsized returns is what I'm going to share with you. It's just 4 of them that I can share in this video, and I'll go through them one by one, and then you can just use that and see which ones you can apply to your business, so you can stop working so hard for the same results and start seeing more results inside of your business by implementing this. So the first one is having a predictable marketing system. And I don't mean marketing is predictable, because there are ups and downs when it comes to marketing. When it comes to running ads, when it comes to content, there's always going to be ups and downs. But predictable here means having a step-by-step system that every single person who comes through your pipeline, who comes through your funnel, or who comes through your ecosystem can go from not knowing who you are, you being a complete stranger to this person and can become a client at the other side of it. That is what having a predictable marketing system means. Now, the asymmetric thing that comes here is in the metrics that you track from this marketing system. So where a lot of people make mistakes is they don't have a predictable marketing system to start with. Clients just find them by luck or by word of mouth or by referrals and so on and so forth. So they don't have that predictable system where they know, okay, these are the series of steps someone needs to take for them to go from finding me online as a complete stranger to trusting me enough to pay me $10,000 for my high ticket program. And the second part where people also mess this up is they don't track the metrics, because the metrics is where you start to see those outsized returns. So let's say you have a system, for example, and let's say you have a one-day event funnel where you have a one-day event. It is about 2 hours. You run ads to that event. People come into your system. They opt in for the event, you show up for the event, you provide value, and then you pitch them on booking a call, or you pitch them on your offer at the end of the event. That is an example of a marketing system. There's a series of steps they need to take before someone can become a high ticket client for you. Now, if you are tracking your metrics, and let's say you notice your show up rate was low, you got a 20% show up rate. There's a list of like 5 to 10 things that you can do to increase your show up rate for the event. And if you run the same event again, you didn't have to change anything else apart from just tweaking your show up rate slightly. You could increase your revenue on the back end of that. If you increase your show up rate by an extra 20, 30, 40%, then you all of a sudden you have like 3 more people coming into the system than 3x more people coming into the system than you had before. And now you have more people seeing your offer, you have more people booking calls, and then you have more sales. Very simple tweaks can lead to outsized returns, but you don't start to see this until you repeat the system over and over again. So a lot of people just launch a system once, and then when they don't see the results, they dump that system and try something else. You don't want to be that person, right? Because where the work actually is in the refinement of the system, and that's where the asymmetric thing comes. So if you just have a system launch and you stop working on it pretty much because, you only got 1 sale from the first launch, you're basically shooting yourself in the foot, because the refinement is where the asymmetry comes in, because you already built the system. Now you can make 1 small tweak and double your sales. You can make an extra tweak here and triple your sales. You can make extra tweak here and there and quadruple your sales. So that is something very asymmetric to do. Now, the second thing is just hiring, pretty much. And I know that might feel very overwhelming to some people. You might feel like you're strapped for cash flow right now and you can't just find somebody to hire. You might feel like you've been burned before in the past. That's a very common thing, especially in this space. So many clients feel like they've been burned by other agencies, which is fine. So you might have a lot of beliefs around hiring, but you have to be able to bring in people who genuinely obsess about one element of your business, because a coaching business has multiple different elements that work together to create the coaching business. There's fulfillment, there's operations, there's sales, there's marketing. And usually when you're in the 30K, 20K, 25K per month range, you're usually doing all these things by yourself. So there's no way you can outcompete other people who have one specific person obsessing about one specific element of the business. It's very hard to outcompete those type of people, because they will have people who do that one thing all day, every day, while you're trying to juggle between like 5 or 6 things at once. Take me, for example. Everything I do all day, every day is marketing for online coaches. So for my clients, for example, they have us, and it's not just me, like me and the entire team, they have us obsessing about one part of their business. It's very, very hard to outcompete those type of people, especially if you have the right type of people in place. So you basically want to find where you are losing the most revenue, the thing you feel like can get you the most leverage. Some clients is marketing, some clients is sales. Most of the time it's usually both. It's rarely ever the product or operations, because that's what you're good at. You're the expert, right? So your product should be very good. The operation should be very good as well. It's usually the marketing and the sales. And find experts who can come in and do that type of thing. We had a client recently join us in December. I think she came on in the first week of December. We had the onboarding call the next day, And then we did our first event together on the 10th of December. And between the 10th of December and the 31st of December, we generated about $140,000 for this client. And this was a client that was managing our marketing herself. So I'm not trying to take credit for this, because this client genuinely has an amazing product, which is usually the case for most coaches, to be honest. They have an amazing product. They already had some systems in place, but we literally just came in and poured fuel to the fire. And that helped this client generate about 6 figures in about 21 days. So this is what you can get. This is kind of asymmetric activities you should be thinking of doing in your business. And it only took this client maybe about 120 minutes to complete the whole hiring process in this case. And that has led to an additional 6 figures to our business in about 21 days. So this is something that is very, very asymmetrical. Hiring someone who would come and obsess about one element of your entire business is extremely asymmetrical. The next thing I have here is relying less on sales calls. So this is not me knocking on sales calls. I know I might have done that before in other videos, but that's because we have systems that can genuinely help you sign clients without sales calls. Like, you don't have to use it. But I understand as well that for a lot of coaches, they do rely on sales calls, and that's completely fine. There's a lot of coaches that make a lot of money from using sales calls. And if you want to scale to like $1 million plus a month, there's no how you can do that without having a proper sales team. But if you're a solo founder right now, you're making about 20K to 30K per month, and you're the one taking all the sales calls yourself, it's going to be very hard for you to scale past that level without having some type of element to either make the sales calls feel like less of sales calls and more like order taking calls, where the sales calls only last about 15 to 30 minutes because these people have consumed so much content from you before they came on the call, or having systems that genuinely help you get clients without sales calls. This is how you can see the type of revenue you need, like that revenue surge you need to explode and be in a place where you can actually work with good salespeople so you can replace yourself and stop taking sales calls. You need to have a system that can help you do that. So another asymmetrical thing you can do in your business is having a system that can help you get clients without sales calls. So for the clients that we have, what we use is virtual events. And we use longer virtual events, especially if you are trying to sell a high ticket offer on these sales calls. It could be 3 days, it could be 5 days. And the whole point of this is to get the traffic in, have them consume content over a period of time. It has a set start time and end time. So you're going to get more consumption on this because it feels like an event and they don't want to miss it. So they consume all this content, and at the end, we now offer them a spot inside of the program. Now, when you get to this point, you can do 2 things. You can either have them book a call to speak with you, and then these calls are just like easy money. They just lay up deals for you pretty much because these guys have already spent 6, 7, 8 hours with you that week, right? Or you can just pick your product directly, which some of our clients do, and it helps them get an insane amount of revenue. So you need that cash surge that will boost you to the point where, okay, I have enough cash in my reserves now. I can go and find a good salesperson. I can now spend more money on ads on my marketing system and get more leads, get more calls in for the salesperson to increase the scalability here. So you're going to need a system that can help you sign clients without sales calls, or at least make the clients calls that you're taking or the sales calls you're taking be less strenuous. They take less time because these people have consumed so much content from you. So that is another asymmetrical thing you can do, and that tends to work really well if you're able to crack that. And then the final thing here is just having more buyer leads in your ecosystem. So there's 2 types of leads you can have. Free leads, that is leads that come into your system and they didn't have to pay anything to get into your ecosystem. And you can also have buyer leads, that is leads that come into your system and they had to pay at least $1 to come into your ecosystem. And buyer leads are actually better types of leads because they've made that micro commitment from you. And if you get in the work to get a buyer lead upfront as compared to a free lead, everything you do from that point forward for that buyer lead becomes more asymmetrical. So a good example of this is for the clients that we have, we do a 5-day event, for example, and people have to pay for tickets to attend this event. And there's the general admission, there's VIP, and there's VIP Premium. And we found that majority of the sales on the high ticket program always come from the VIP and the VIP Premium, just because they spent more money up front with us. And those sales usually don't require a sales team to close. So you can see, because these people came in already purchasing something, everything you do from that point forward becomes extremely asymmetrical, because they've already made that micro commitment. They've shown you they are serious about solving this problem, and it just becomes this beautiful system. Allows you to close these guys a lot easier because they came in as a buyer lead. So these are some very asymmetrical things you can implement in your business today and start seeing some more outsized returns. If you are a coach and you feel like you're working very hard on your business and you would love my team to actually implement these systems into your business, there's going to be a link in the description. You can check that out if you want. It has a video that explains exactly what we do and how we can help you implement all these systems so that you can scale from wherever you're currently at right now. You can add an extra 100, 200K to your business over the next couple of months. So if that sounds interesting to you, there's a link in the description for you. And if you enjoyed this video, do subscribe and like the video. Leave a comment if you have any questions or anything like that. And thank you so much for watching to the end, by the way. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.